I think it's fair to say that we've all visited a doctor at some point in our lives and had them prescribe a medication with instructions on how much to take. The specific amount of a particular medication, often one that's been prescribed to you by a healthcare provider, is called a dose. A term that may be less familiar to you, but one that's equally important, is microdose. Like the name suggests, this is a very, very small dose that's taken to test the effects or possible benefits of a medication while minimizing undesirable side effects. If a microdose of a medication is consumed and there are no effects, or the effects are not as desired, a process called titration may be used. Titration is the act of gradually increasing the dose by microscopic amounts until the optimal outcome or the desired outcome is achieved. You've probably experienced titration in the past when your healthcare team has adjusted the amount or dose of your medication upwards or downwards until you achieve the outcome that you are seeking. Now that you have a better understanding of some of the terminology associated with dosing, let's take a closer look at some of the recommended starting doses for various cannabis products. Remember, these recommendations are specifically for new users, so if you're a more experienced medical cannabis user, it's best to consult with your healthcare team to determine the best doses to meet your unique needs. When it comes to inhalation, the potency of the product you are inhaling will impact how strongly you feel the results. But the rule of thumb with inhalation is simple. Take one inhalation. Whether smoking or vaping, you're going to want to wait at least 5 minutes to determine whether you'd like to take a second or even third inhalation. When ingesting THC, it's recommended that new users start with a dose of 2.5 milligrams of THC or less. More experienced users may choose higher volumes of THC. Since ingested cannabis can have effects that last for 8 hours or more, use extra caution when selecting the dose that's best for you. And you probably want to consider waiting until the next day or the next time you consume before adjusting your dose. When it comes to oral absorption, the dose for orally absorbed cannabinoids is highly dependent on the product type and the potency of the product. Regardless of the product you select, it's advisable that new users start with the lowest possible dose available. If a dropper contains 1 milliliter per activation, start with 0.1 milliliters to get a better understanding of how the product will make you feel before adjusting your dose upwards. If you choose to consume a cannabis product via oral absorption, it's important to wait at least 2 to 4 hours before determining if you would like to increase your dose. Since topicals are only applied to the skin, hair, nails, and teeth, there's really no dosing guidelines and you're free to use topicals at your discretion. However, follow any instructions or guidelines that are listed on the packaging, and if you do have any questions or concerns, you can always consult with your healthcare team. I hope that helped answer some of your questions about dosing and where to start. Remember, when in doubt, start low and go slow.